So if you're trying to start an online business or you want to make money online and you're not selling something on Etsy, why aren't you? There's 96 million active users on Etsy. 96 million, and I get it. When you think Etsy, you think of like floral principles or you think of custom print-on-demand t-shirts and things like that. But that isn't the only thing that's sold on Etsy, okay? You don't need a brand. You don't need experience. You don't need some kind of like fancy, super amazing product. You don't need to be super creative. All you need is a good product that people want. And the best part is that you can actually sell digital products on Etsy. And you know how we feel about digital products. Digital products is what allows my wife and I to run our full-time 7-figure business on like part-time hours and even less than part-time hours. We can spend time with our kids. We can spend time with our family. We can travel. We can go where we want, whenever we want. We can do crazy hobbies. We're not bound by time, location, or income because of digital products. And I get it, digital products and courses and things like that. It sounds like it's really hard to get into, but honestly, Etsy is a great first starting point to be able to jump into this arena. So if you want to be able to do all those things and you want to make some passive income, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave some comments down below if you have any questions on the video. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite digital product ideas for Etsy. So my secret to selling digital products, and this doesn't matter whether it's on Etsy or whether it's on your own site or you're selling it somewhere else, is that you need to have a product that solves a problem for someone. Okay, it needs to be something that's specific and it's something that actually helps them achieve some type of return on their investment. Now, I get it, okay? You can sell things like wall art, and that does kind of solve a problem of not having something to put on your wall. But honestly, if you want to be able to make a substantial income without having to sell hundreds of thousands of products, then the best way you can do that is by solving a specific problem for someone. And we're going to try to keep that theme in mind as we go through these ideas. And the reason we want to solve a problem for someone is because the bigger the problem you can solve, the more that they're willing to pay for it, which means the more that you can go ahead and charge for it and the less amount of sales you need to be able to hit a certain income goal. Okay, so let's get into this first one. Yes, I get it. This first one will probably be the first digital product everyone talks about or everyone thinks about when it's on YouTube, but we have to talk about it. I have to give you guys options. Okay, people love their digital planners. I promise more ideas are going to be coming. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's coming up here. Okay, it's going to be lots of really good info, but we have to talk about planners because they're just so easy to make. It doesn't take any experience to be able to do anything with it. You don't have to be some kind of crazy designer to do them, and they're just kind of everywhere. And everyone loves planners. It just seems like everybody nowadays has a planner, whether it's digital or whether it's printable. And that's what's cool about Etsy and selling here is that you can actually provide both. So you can provide a printable calendar, which is basically you just design something and they print it and they can go ahead and write it old school and fill it in. Or you can make a digital calendar, which people can actually fill in with an app like Notability. Obviously, they're calendars, so they're used to plan like days or weeks or months or years, or people are pretty specific about the way that they like to plan things. You know, it helps people to stay organized. And maybe it helps them hit their goals, but honestly, it doesn't have that big of an ROI in my opinion when it comes to like the different other types of products that you can actually sell on Etsy. And so because of that, it's not really the best or my favorite digital product to sell in my opinion that's here, but the thing is that you have to talk about it because it's so easy to do. So just a quick breakdown again, the pros and cons to digital planners. The pros is that it takes like zero experience to be able to go ahead and make. You don't even need to be a graphic designer of any sorts. Lots of people are looking for them and there's like no overhead and no cost to actually start making them. But the cons to this are that it's such a low priced product that you need to sell a ton of them to make some kind of significant revenue. There's also decent competition out there. There's a lot of planners, digital and printable, that people offer on Etsy. And if you get really into it and you make really extensive planners, they probably can be pretty time consuming to make and not worth the like $3 or $6 that you sell it for. All right, so my second product idea or category, whatever you want to be able to call it, are spreadsheets. Yes, boring, plain spreadsheets. And they're so useful, in fact, that for decades, computers provided a free spreadsheet program that came on the computer with it for free. So you can't deny the usability and the function of a spreadsheet. It's just not that cool. So most commonly, people offer things like budgets. Okay, like a budget planner is super common spreadsheet that's available on Etsy, but they also have things like habit trackers and client trackers and to-do lists and lots of other things. There's a lot of problems that you can solve with spreadsheets, but you still you still can't charge a very high price for them, although they are pretty cool. So the pros to spreadsheets is that there's tons of different use cases. You could be really specific with who you target with them. You don't have to be a graphic designer again, and again, it's pretty low overhead to make. It's pretty low maintenance. So the cons to this though is that it's still a pretty low price product. Spreadsheets, they're not cool. Okay, they're just not that cool to make. I actually think they're cool because you can make them change colors when you enter things in them and stuff. But anyways, to most people, they're not that cool. And again, there is quite a bit of competition for them. Now, to overcome that competition, I want to give you guys a little bit of a bonus tip as you start to think through the rest of these products as well, okay? And the thing is that the more specific you can get with who your product is for, the better of a chance you have at standing out, okay? So if you just say planners, then it's just a planner for everyone, okay? But then if you say daily planner, okay, that's a little bit more specific. But then if you say daily planner for a mom, then that's more specific. And you start to hone in on someone that has a specific use case for a specific problem, right? So then if you start saying things like a daily planner for a mom that has 7 kids that homeschools, then you start to stand out while still offering the same easy to make, easy to use product. So when you're going through the rest of these, try to keep that in mind. Try to think of specific use cases for specific people as you're making your digital products. Okay, so let's jump back into it. The third product here that I have is a little different than the first two, okay? And these are email templates. Now, side note, if you're not doing email marketing yet, you got to be able to get on it, okay? Email is still one of the highest converting channels that you can get. It keeps your audience on your own platform and not some other social media platform that might shut down. And you can market to people whenever you want to. But that's besides the point. Let's get back. Now, yes, things are getting a little bit different here because instead of providing something like a PDF or a spreadsheet or something, there's actually lots of different types of files that you can provide and lots of different use cases. I just say email templates because there's actually a broad range of different types of templates for email. So you have things like email signature templates. You have things like email design templates. You even have email copy and script templates. And not to mention that they actually make it for all different types of email platforms. Okay, they have ones for like MailChimp, and then they have ones for ConvertKit and so on and so forth. And so there's lots of variety that's in here. And so while it is a little bit more involved to get them made, you can actually charge a little bit more because there is more of a return on people's investment because they're using it hopefully for their business. So the pros to doing email templates here are that it's a higher price point. People can actually like visualize their ROI that's here. And it is kind of a like breakout or breakthrough product that's on Etsy. Okay, we're starting to get into types of products and types of files that aren't as common on Etsy. So the actual cons to this though is that there's not as wide of a market because not everybody does email, not everybody runs an online business that's there. And it's going to take a little bit more experience and patience to be able to make these types of products. The fourth product here is kind of similar to email templates and having like a wide range of different things that you offer, but it's actually just for social media. So social media templates on Etsy. Now, these are some of my favorite products because there's just such a wide variety of use cases, again, that you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one specific type of file that solves one specific type of problem. You can offer lots of different types of social media templates, and people actually commonly bundle them together and sell them at a much higher price point. So you have things like Instagram story templates, Instagram post templates, Instagram carousel templates, and it's not just on Instagram either. There's also like YouTube thumbnails. You have YouTube banners. There's lots of different things that you can do for social media that people use templates for that they buy on Etsy. And people even actually still make them for specific industries too. And that's what I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is that if you can make them for a specific person in a specific industry, it starts to make it to where your product stands out to them because they see it as for them, right? So they have things like social media templates for real estate agents, for coaches, for fitness gurus, for YouTube gaming channels. And you might be thinking like, well, if there's free templates on Canva already, why would people pay for these templates that I have here? And the truth is that the templates on Canva are kind of generic and they're kind of C+-ish mediocre design that's there, and they share a lot of common assets. So it's actually pretty easy to spot something that just grabbed from Canva and the text is changed on it. When it comes to people wanting to stand out in their business, they're willing to pay just a little bit more than free to be able to get something for their business. And that's why people are willing to be able to pay to take their like mid-level social media marketing game up to a high quality level. So the pros to selling social media templates here is that they are a much higher price point. There's lots of variety that's here. You can go ahead and bundle them together. There's multiple platforms, multiple niches that you can go ahead and target. And you can go ahead and target really just one specific design or hone in on one specific skill set and you're not necessarily cutting out a ton of people. But the cons to social media templates here is that, yeah, you're going to need a little bit of design taste. Okay, you can't make just janky files and put them up and expect people to buy them. And then again, it is a smaller market, although a growing smaller market because more people are understanding how powerful social media is. All right, now my fifth digital product idea here are website templates. I know this one's getting out there. It's kind of weird. It's not what you expect on Etsy, but I've been looking at the research and people are buying these, okay? Website templates are one of the highest ticket products that you can actually offer in terms of digital products. Now, yes, at this point, we're targeting a very specific demographic, okay? We're looking for somebody that is looking to make a website on a specific platform. There's not too many people that are out there that are doing that, and you do have to kind of pick and choose what platform you're gonna be on. But again, the payoff can totally be there because although you're selling a not as common file or not as common product, you're still on Etsy, which is a search engine and a marketplace in itself. So you don't have to do that marketing yourself. You don't have to go out there and pay for ads to your website or ads to your Instagram page or something like that. People can go onto Etsy and type these things in, which is why we want to be able to use it. But website templates are basically just things like you can buy a theme and it's a theme for your Shopify or it's a theme for your Wix or something like that. Something that you can go ahead and upload, or it could be a specific sales page for your Kajabi website, or it could even be a checkout for your website. The whole idea here is that you're coming in and you're buying specific design files for a specific platform, something like Kajabi, which if you're looking to get started, Kajabi is a great platform and you can check out a link down in the description below for a free 30-day trial. But again, the idea here is that you're trying to get something that isn't like a generic free page, okay? You're trying to get a specific page for your specific industry and one that you don't have to necessarily code too much with it, okay? People are trying to buy these things because they don't have design taste. They don't have the skills to be able to code. Now, although you may not have the skills to be able to make them either, there are platforms like Kajabi or like Shopify where you could actually create a base template or create from a base template and then export that and sell it as long as you customize it to be your own. So the pros and cons of website templates, let's start with the pros. There are a ton of different types of files and pages and platforms that you can make these for, and you can be very specific. And again, you can be standout in a niche or in an industry. Okay, it also has a super high price point compared to something like a floral wall print for 65 cents or whatever people sell those for. Okay, you could also bundle even entire site packages, and I've seen Etsy prices up in terms of like $500 to $1,000 for website templates. And to me, the biggest pro to doing website templates here on Etsy is that you get to use Etsy's search engine to do the marketing for you. Now the cons, obviously, kind of a little bit bigger cons to be able to do a website templates. You have to be able to make them. You have to know that skill. You have to be able to build that skill up, which it's fine. You can go through, you can pay for a course to learn how to do that. And then all of a sudden you can get a huge return on your investment by reselling them. But yeah, it's for sure going to take a little bit of experience to make these things. There's also a much higher level of effort to be able to put into them. It's not something that you're going to just be able to whip up in 15 minutes. And these templates aren't usually something that are cross-platform. So you need to make them specifically for Shopify or specifically for Kajabi. But if you want to make them for a bunch of different platforms, then you need to have experience on all those different platforms. Now let's say that you're not creative at all. Okay, let's say you can't make templates, you can't make spreadsheets, you don't have any design taste whatsoever, you can't even pick colors that don't clash with each other, kind of like me. I can't do really anything when it comes to design. I don't even like coloring, but you might have knowledge that you can share. You might have a skill that somebody wants to learn. You might know something that somebody would be willing to pay for to learn from you. Now, this could be literally anything, okay? It could be cooking. It could be cleaning. It could be real estate. You could even sell knowledge on things that are generally not on family-friendly websites. And this knowledge that I'm talking about, the way people are selling it is they're selling it through things like ebooks and online courses. And so what people are doing is they're basically just using Etsy as a search engine to be able to sell these ebooks and online courses and guides and things like that, checklists even, that are basically just leveraging their knowledge. So this is by far my favorite product, okay? Some type of an actual digital course or digital PDF that is meant to teach someone something. So an info product. Now it's amazing because you don't need anything, okay? You don't need to know Shopify. You don't need to know spreadsheets. You don't need to know Excel. You don't need to know Adobe Photoshop or anything like that. All you need is your brain and just the ability to put words to paper or words to digital file, whatever your digital file is going to be. Now, info products like digital courses. It's actually how my wife and I make our living. It's how we pay the bills. It's how we feed our kids. It's how we do crazy hobbies and kind of live the life however we want. So if you're caught up on these first 5 ideas that I went through because you're like stuck on some kind of design phase or something like that, think about what you know, the knowledge that you have, and how you might be able to turn that into some type of a course or an ebook. But if you're still confused on that and you're like, well, how exactly would I go through and do that? You can actually check the link down in the description below. I've got a ton of free information for you guys on how you can get started selling courses or ebooks or other informational products online too. So if I were to go through this last idea with pros and cons like I did the first ones, the pros to selling a digital course or a digital ebook or something like that on Etsy, some type of informational product, the pros are that you can charge whatever you want for it because your knowledge is worth whatever you decide to price it at. It's a super low overhead because they're easy to make. All you have to do is slap some pages together in ebook or record a few videos for an online course. There's no storage area or anything. There's no warehouse space, so there's virtually no overhead. You don't even have to have a site or experience to do anything with online courses. And the only cons to it are, I can't really think of any cons. Realistically, I think the only con to doing some type of an info product is that you just need to come out of your shell and that you have to believe in yourself and the fact that you know something that other people want to know. All right, so there are some digital Etsy product ideas for you to be able to go out and jumpstart your online business journey with. Go ahead, pick whichever one you think is the best. If you have other ideas or you have comments or questions about them, leave them down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to go through and answer them and go back and forth with you guys on that. And again, if you like information like this, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, do all the stuff for the algorithm, whatever it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one.